I would say since I was 11 years old, almost every waking hour of the day, I'm thinking of YouTube in some form or capacity. I feel like it was almost like baked in my DNA. Like it just flows in my blood, the innate urge to create videos and to build a YouTube channel and build businesses. That's just what I do. And if I try to take time off, I just get depressed and I feel like I lose my sanity.
That was the biggest problem, is I thought it was a freak of nature. Cause like people would tell me, all you do is talk about YouTube. You're too obsessed with YouTube. Like get a life. Like from 13 to like 19, I never met anyone who cared about YouTube. I was so untalkative. People thought like there was problems with me because I just wouldn't talk to them. Because all I would do is talk about YouTube. And after a while, like you realize like no one cares. And then when I was 19, then I had like 10,000 subscribers. Maybe it was like 18. And that's when I started meeting a few other YouTubers online. And I realized like I'm not a freak. I'm just like obsessed with YouTube. And that's okay. You just got to find other people that are like that. We just, sometimes we're filming for 3 or 4 days, like 10 hours a day, 30, 40 hours of filming plus months of setup, whereas most creators probably do for a couple hours of setup per day. I think for us, by always doing all of those things, it just distinctively sets it so far apart that it's basically, in my head, it's like, why would you not watch it?
But for the average person like us, who don't have these exceptional personalities and, backgrounds in filmmaking, just make 100 videos, improve something each time, and then talk to me on your 101st video. Second one, just, put more effort into the script. The third one, try to learn a new editing trick. The fourth one, try to figure out a way that you can have better inflections in your voice. The fifth one, try to, study a new thumbnail tip and implement it. The sixth one, try to figure out a new title. There's infinite ways. That's the beauty of content creation online.
Well, and the thing is, like, as long as you're reinvesting everything and you're constantly innovating and adapting, it's pretty hard to follow.
Easy for you to say, dude. All you do is
like you can elevate your content by being more creative, spending more money, putting in more effort, and there's like all these different things. And so like one of those just has to be one, not all of them.
Yes, weirdly enough, the best thing for my mental health was giving into my innate nature to work. And the most depressed I get is when I try to restrict it. Like I don't work weekends or I don't work this day. What's best for me is just to work when I feel like working, and then just not work when I don't.
Again, the thing is, everyone has different priorities. If you want to make a few $100,000 a year and just coast or whatever, not everyone has ambition and stuff like that. But if you really do want to be the best you can possibly be the biggest YouTuber, you should look at hiring as a way to free up your time so you can do more important things, and even then, and hyper optimize every little minute. And anything that isn't work, you should outsource to someone else so you can recharge, so you can work again. You know what I mean?
I was making no money. Like this is kind of the turning point was when I graduated from high school. And my whole life, I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time. And I wasn't. I was still only making a couple $100 a month. Didn't have enough money to move out. And that was kind of when I was just like 15 hours a day, all in. I was like, I'm fucked if this doesn't work. And I had some videos pop off. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I had a month where I made 20 grand because I just had some videos just do really, really well.
Step one would I just brainstorm like, okay, I don't have money. What are some viral things? The first thing that comes to my mind is something as simple as when I count to 100,000, which is what I did do when I was poor. And like that worked. But like, what's something like that I could do that would be even more attention grabbing? First off, come up with ideas you think would do well, and then ask yourself later if they're doable. Because there's different ways you can accomplish something.
You have to work on multiple videos at a time, because most of our videos takes months to produce, and I don't just upload 2 or 3 videos a year. So if you're working on like 5 videos at a time, and one of the videos takes up an entire warehouse, and another video takes up an entire warehouse, well then you can't work on the other 3 because 2 warehouses are full. So then that's what led us to getting this big place, because it's so huge we can work on multiple videos here at the same time.
Actually studied hard enough, and like basically if you knew what I knew, and some of these, so I don't sound so arrogant, also like some of these other friends I have that I'd say are the smartest people in the world when it comes to content creation online, if you had the knowledge that was in our heads, you could do it very easily. I see people do it all the time. And what's even more interesting is I go on podcasts and I say everything I know. It's all out there. And a lot of people, instead of just studying that and trying to absorb and apply it in their own way, they're just like, no, it's just luck,
Which I think small YouTubers should do is I would reply to every single comment. And so I think a few people caught on that I would always reply. And so some people would just be like, I wonder how long it'll take for him to reply. And so that was a lot of my comments when I was smaller, but at least it kept him coming back.
I just work every day, every hour of the day, until I just burn out. Anytime I try to stick to a schedule, it just doesn't work, because there are certain Saturdays I'm just fired up and like God himself couldn't stop me from going and working on a video. And then there are other Saturdays where I'm burnt out.
Whatever, different people you're gonna feel crazy and it's gonna wear on you. Whereas if you're around similar people, it's so much easier. The people they're around 100% dictates the outcome. I would not be on 120 million subscribers if I didn't find when I was around 1 million, I had a couple friends that were just also psychopaths. You know, I outgrew them, but at the time it was great. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for them. Just all along the way, the friends that I hung out with had such a dramatic impact on where I am. When I was a teenager, I just, you know, I couldn't relate to many people, and I just thought it was like a fucking freak of nature because no one was obsessed with building businesses or any of this kind of stuff.
Did you mind at all that feeling of like everyone being like, what are you doing?
Of course. I mean, it's weird. I think the problem is like I told this story years ago, it probably would have helped. It's so much more acceptable now. Like everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Everyone wants to be a TikToker. Like growing up now, like you can just tell by the people and the numbers and explosion of social media that like it's a lot more widely accepted. And also it might also be where I grew up in North Carolina. It's different than LA. But back then, like it really just was a strange thing. You know,
like, you know, most people can't reinvest in a business because when they get to this level, they're worried about their $10 million mansion. They're like 4 or 5 cars and insurance and keeping up with that. And then like their second home and all these other things. I just cut it all out. I have no like personal debt or like things, you know, that I have to pay for. So I can just go all in on the business because it's like, it doesn't even matter, you know what I mean?
Imagine a world where it's just you working solo and you work 12 hours a day every day for like a year. And you're just grinding, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that for like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday, he teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. And then like you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. It really does make a difference, especially like my friend group when I was like, I met a bunch of people when I had 10,000 subscribers and we all like, we agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed.
What piece of advice do you find yourself repeating over and over to creators and they're just not getting it?
Oh boy, a lot. You know, so here's a fun story. I mentored this one guy just for fun. I started, he's a friend, medium-sized YouTuber. He was doing like, I think he was doing 20,000, like 10 a month in revenue, like 10,000 on one channel, like 8,000 on another channel. And this month he actually just had his highest revenue month ever. He did $400,000 in revenue. And just by like listening to what I taught him. I know we were able to like 20x his revenue. And I was just like, with me just once a week, just telling him he was an idiot and what to do. And I do that for a lot of people. I just counsel people for fun and help them blow up their channels. A lot of times people, oh boy, it's like they think their videos are better than they are, honestly. And
tell them, Jimmy, tell them.
I mean, they do. And you have to that, and they have horrible friend groups because you really are like the type of YouTubers you hang around. And so like a lot of times I'm just like, what you're saying is wrong. Who told you this? And they're like, well, this guy. And it's like, well, they're wrong. It's not true. And so it's getting people with the right YouTuber friend group that aren't pussies and will actually tell them when their content's bad and like actually roast it and help them get better in a nice, positive way. And then usually it's hiring an editor, honestly uploading less videos and just making them better. It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. It takes way less effort to get 5 million views on one video. So it's like applying a lot of these principles like that, and also getting it where it's content that they enjoy. A lot of people aren't willing to put in 10 hours days because they don't like what they're doing. So it's finding what they enjoy, because it is like a long grind. Like you're doing it for years, not months. So if you don't enjoy it, then you're gonna burn out and
accomplish a goal. There are so many different ways you can achieve what you want. You really got to push through no's, which not a lot of people do. You have to have like a more of a dominant personality and just a willingness to, when people tell you it's not possible, just actually go through all the variables and eliminate them all yourself. For what we do and creators online, it's very imperative. Like we take a personality test, and like just having a dominant personality is a better indicator that when someone tells you, oh, there's no way you're gonna build a brick wall for under 100 grand, you know, you'll be like, okay, and then still go check the next 10 vendors and you know, figure it out.
Some people are like, I'm burnt down, screw this, I'm done. You know, like never at that point. But yeah, like if I'm going like, you know, I go from time I get up to time I go to bed like 3 days in a row, I'll be like, okay, like kind of want to like take half a day off and like chill, or like I'll feel it coming and stuff like that. But this is what I'm doing to the day I die. I don't care. Like,
I've seen people literally start a channel and within a month hit 100,000 subscribers. I've seen it. I personally know someone who had a channel with 100 subscribers, and me and my boys, other YouTubers that I feel like have a good understanding of how YouTube works, we just help them optimize the video. And I don't like to say the name of the channels because then I feel like I'm taking credit for their success, but literally 100 subscribers, he got 3 million views on a video. And that was with no artificial push. It did like 50 views, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. It just stair-stepped up every day. And so it's 1,000,000% possible, but it's very hard right off the bat to know what makes a good video, how to hold a viewer, how to get them to click and stuff like that. Some people are naturally entertaining and retaining a viewer is just much easier for them. And some people like me, you just need a long time to develop. A lot of it is just like, you can just tell when a video shouldn't go viral. At the beginning of the video, just tell, like literally the simplest thing, just tell them why they should watch it. If you're putting 1 million Orbeez in a pool, don't start the video with you shopping for, your mom's birthday present. At the beginning of the video, just say, we're gonna put 1 million Orbeez in this pool. And then that right there should, be at least slightly sufficient.
What you have to do is you have to always be learning, right? That's how you can so with our ideas, right? Because we like to do original ideas that no one's ever done before. And I might have told Jude this when we were talking on the phone. Thing is, if there's a hypothetical fruit in Japan that if you eat it, makes it where you can jump 30 feet taller, right? If that exists in this world right now, you didn't know it existed. So you couldn't come up with something around that. It's very hyper specific. But there's a million things like that in the world that if you don't know about it or you're not intaking the inspiration, you can't really come up with something. If I were to try to get into stand-up, that's how I would try to do something different.
and I showed them on my phone. Yeah. I was like, the title and thumbnail made me tap, and then the red bar was so tiny you could barely see it because I clicked off in 8 seconds. I was like, this is me at my house 4 days ago before you came down. Clearly, you just didn't grab me. Yeah. And I told them the remedy for this is they need better friends. 100%. No offense to people that are their friends. Yeah. I know that they like you, but the fact that no one's calling you up after you uploading that and just roasting the hell out of you. Yeah. Dude, this isn't the best you could do. And it's not a knock on you guys. It's actually them someone should say hey, you guys are too smart for this. You're better than this. You can make a video better than this. Which is what you should.
You can make anything work, but at the end of the day, it's gotta be interesting to the audience, original, and if you hit those, figure out a good intro outro. You know what I mean? That relentless obsession of YouTube and reinvesting got us to that point. And so building the team to leverage, if I didn't know how to go viral, it doesn't matter if I had 1,000 employees, really wouldn't not gonna do. So I think for me it was good that I got a really strong foundation on how YouTube works, how the style of videos I wanted and everything before I scaled up. I just want to make sure that's clear because I've seen people try to build the team without foundation and knowing how to do well, and then
that's interesting.
And so that's what gave me the confidence to hire people, and that's why I'm able to run my company at really thin margins because I have faith, and I know that if we film this video, it will do well, just because I've spent a decade of my life hyper obsessing over YouTube, and I have a good pulse on it. But if you didn't have that, then you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to spend $4 million on a Squid Game because you might lose $2 million, and then can't pay your people.
There's no such thing as a perfect video. Someone should always call you and it on your video because it could be better. That's because imagine if someone does that every video and you upload hundreds, if not 1,000 videos over the next 10 years, and every single time someone's critiquing you and you're applying what they're critiquing. Imagine the compound effect over that time span. It's invaluable. But if you upload 100 videos and very few people are shitting on them, then you just lost so much compound effect.
If we took your brain right now and put it into a guy with no money and no subscribers. So you can't give away money. You can't make $1 million giveaway video. How long would it take you to get to 1 million subscribers?
Probably 3 months, maybe 4. From 0, easily 3 or 4 months. If that's all that guy was doing, let me think. I would probably just walk across America. That would get me on the map, and then just do some other... Yeah, some other $0 extreme challenges, get some attention, take that money. I don't know, maybe make a line of paper clips. I think those are cheap, and stretch it across the state or something. And then I know something, that I'd try to swim from Europe to Africa. That'd be a cool stunt or something. I've thought about this before. That would pop off, dude. A thumbnail of me just swimming in the middle of the ocean. I don't want to do it now because there's easier stuff, but I would do it. Straight to Gibraltar, it's 4 miles or something. You could swim
no big
that.
Deal.
Yeah, but then imagine a title. I swam from Europe to Africa. That would pop off. Or I swam across the ocean or something. I mean, yeah, easily. Like, I could figure out a blueprint, and then I'd just suffer for 4 months, and then I'd have a million subscribers.
Typically, if you're doing a longer video, you should introduce like a side story and like you should have some plan halfway through, like to re-engage them so they'll just get bored. You know what I mean? Like, if I just said, like, if I hand you a camera, I had a camera, it's like, okay, if he tags me, he gets 100 grand, and then I just run, and that's it. It's just me running through the woods, and him just running through the woods after me. You can't make a 15-minute video out of it. You know what I mean? You could probably paint a bowling ball, and people would find it entertaining. Like, there's an audience for everything. You got a good personality, you're passionate, and like, you know, you present it in a way where it's entertaining. Like,
going hard in business and building them, even though it's stressful and it's very difficult. And like sometimes I'm like, you know, you have a mental breakdown. You're like, why am I doing this? Why did I push myself so hard? But then when you're not doing it, you're just depressed. And so it's like a weird system, a weird situation, but I love it. But sometimes I don't.
You have, like, as YouTubers, especially people who build side businesses and have side channels, there's like 50 things that need to be done. And if you split your time amongst it, they're all only getting a few percentage of your time. So like, someone should be able to do that job better than you because they're giving it 100% of their time. And that's like the OP part about hiring people.
No, I mean, I just got back from a mastermind where I just got like, 10 of the smartest people I knew, and we just locked ourselves in a cabin and taught each other stuff. Constantly, every day, not every day now, probably every other day, I go on a walk and I just call random people. I'll just say, teach me something. You just have to have a never-ending thirst for learning. Like, that's very imperative, especially if you want to get on top and then stay on top. The only way to do it is just to constantly be learning. Or someone who is learning is just gonna, have a leg up on you in the knowledge game. Like, my teenage years were spent studying virality and studying content creation. Now I'm studying how to build a content company so I can actually produce the crazy ideas I want to produce.
Anything we make off Reacts, I put in the main channel, which is how we kind of got here, because I got to the point where the main channel would make hypothetically a few $1 million and I'd spend a few $1 million a month. And I was like, well, how can I get more money to burn? And so then we started gaming, and then gaming started making money, and I just take that money and the next month throw it on the main channel. And I was like, oh, this is working well. And then we started Reacts, and now we just take a few $100 grand a month from that, we just throw it on the main channel. And I'm just like, these things exist just to pump money into the main channel.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Like, our videos are very fast paced. And so sometimes you do have to give up a little bit of the story in order to keep the videos moving. Of anything, it would be that. Like, a lot of people think the only reason we get views is because I just throw money at it, and they don't realize that, we spent a decade just studying what does well, studying, figuring out our own style, figuring out our own way to do things. And that amount of hours I put into like just expanding the inspiration in my brain just so I can come up with original ideas, and the months on months we spend building the sets and working on it, and the weeks we spend editing and all this. And then, they're just like, oh, he just spent money. That's it. There's nothing special. You know what I mean?
So I found it'd be better just to kind of have people come up with ideas roughly, and then I adjust them. Because half those ideas are good, I would know. But then when I read them, it inspires me. And I'm like, no, first to finish race with 100 grand, like, that's too simple. But first person to climb a mountain with 100 grand is good. So I like when people just give me inspiration and then
watch things that like inspired me. So I would like try to watch a different show or different things or different genres for inspiration. And I had what I would call like an info diet, and I would always like try to add new things. So I was so obsessed with how to, because really like if I tell you to come up with an idea, you're just whatever.
What you're saying is like, I like bananas, and what you need is bananas are the best goddamn food on the planet. Like, that's the type of opinion you need. Like, you need something like how to get 100 million views on YouTube, or not even that's not strong enough. You need something that makes people go, what the fuck? And like click, but that's hyper specific to you. But you see what I'm saying? It needs to be extreme. It needs to be like how to go viral. That's not going to cause someone to go, damn, if I don't click that, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. You need something that legit will have people be like, what the fuck did he say in that video? What the fuck? I need to know.
We probably film like 10 times more than other people. We probably spend 100 times for a video more than other people. So it's like, we put in the effort, but I don't know how to say where it's not arrogant. I just believe in what we're doing. Everyone, constantly wanted to remind me, you're not going to be a YouTuber. Grow up, be realistic. If I open a dictionary here and we just, flip to a random page and we pick a word and the word's flowers, right? Then we'll be like, okay, I bought a flower. I gave my girlfriend a flower. I gave my girlfriend 100,000 flowers. I gave my girlfriend 100,000 flowers on Valentine's Day, right? You just go like that. I gave Tariq 100,000 flowers. I put 100,000 flowers in the moon. You do that for a few minutes, and then you just flip to a new page, and you're like, what's this word? And you just like, that's the slowest form of doing it, and the worst way to do it, but that's in taking inspiration, getting inspired, and seeing what comes out.
See, that's the effect you want. Most people, when they watch, for the YouTubers watching this, when people watch your video, they go, okay, that was good, but like that's enough of you for the day. Like it was all right? Whereas what you want is them to go, holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my God, what's that? Holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my God. And they watch 10 videos, not one, and then need like a week break because it was so that they have to recharge. You know what I mean? That's what you're going for. That data can't describe. And like, I've never heard anyone talk about that, but that is it. That's how you get these high view counts, because people watch 10 videos, not one, you know?
Because we just had this ability to go viral, it's just kind of like, there's a world where I make videos and I don't help people, and there's a world where I make videos and I do help people. The one where I do help people is just a little bit more fun, so that's why I do it. PR wise, I should have a better answer, but that's kind of the truth.
If you upload a video and you're not like, you're not like, this is a banger, this is gonna bang, no doubt in my mind, even though you're gonna be wrong 90% of the time, then it's not a good enough.
Yeah. And it's not because they know who I am. It's just because the videos are good. They just are. They're interesting. They have good retention. They have good pacing. You can't find them anywhere else. And you know, the thing I want to leave people with is people think it's like, oh well, it's all like CTR and stuff like that. But a big thing that everyone fucking underestimates is it's what was your experience with your last video? If people loved the last video of yours that they watched, they're more likely to watch your next one.
One thing is like, I'm obsessed with learning, and so it was very important I found someone that also likes learning. So she loves reading books, she loves like experiencing things. So like, I don't see like taking like an art class as a waste of time, because that might creatively inspire me, or like a pottery class, or even going and shooting guns or whatever, some new thing. So usually it's like us doing something like that where in my head I'm learning something and I can kind of justify the time, you know what I mean? Yeah. To my like business obsessed brain cell. So it's that, and it's also good to unwind, and you know, so you can actually go to bed at a reasonable time and not just lay there working in your head. Hey, you should subscribe right now. That, you know, a lot of people who wouldn't have done it because they just didn't think of it are now thinking about it, and it will convert to like 10 or 20,000. So literally just say it and you're good.
My team pushes back on me pretty hardcore, which I want. I don't want yes men, and they're James, you know, the CEO who helped me build all this. He's very adamant, like, we're not yes men, and he trains people to really think for themselves. And even when I give them orders to like really think, like, is this optimal? Is there context or information Jimmy could be missing that I can provide that could help him make a more updated decision? Like, I'm not God, you know what I mean? Like, I'm human and I make errors, and so don't take what I say as the Bible.
You just really boil it down to the people who are watching. Just think about it. Like, what do you think YouTube wants? Like, to me, I think YouTube just wants people to click on a video and watch it, right? I mean, that's how they get their ad revenue. That's how they keep, you know, viewers happy and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure comments, like, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they want you to click, watch the video, click, watch the video, and just do that as long as possible. So to me, what's important is click-through rate, getting people to click on your video, and then average view duration, average view percentage, or just relative retention, and, you know, having them watch it. If people are clicking your video more than they click other videos, and they're watching it longer than they watch other videos, you know, I just, as simplistic as that is, that's like what YouTube wants, and I think that's how you just, you know, be successful.
Imagine spending 10 years of your life only thinking about one thing every waking hour of the day. The thing is, like, you're an idiot until you're successful. Then you're smart, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just, at some point you cross that tipping point and people go from judging you and being like, you're too obsessed, you're a freak, blah, 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 to like, oh, congrats, look at you. You hire people and provide jobs. Like, you're cool, good job, you know what I mean? And it's really like kind of blurry where that line changes.
For me, I'm still learning stuff every day. When filming, though, I like to try to just put it, like, I feel like a lot of creators have a mindset of like, how can I get the most views with the least amount of time? And I'm not saying that's wrong, you know, because obviously I have that mindset sometimes too, but I try to, when filming, put in as much work, even if it's like a 15-second part of a video, even if that one little part will take like 10 hours, you know. Wow. But like, hypothetically, right? But that 15 seconds is like, wow, like, that's great. Like, I feel like viewers genuinely notice when you go the extra mile, trying to make sure we're doing everything we can, no matter how expensive it is, no matter how much time it takes, to make the best video possible so they have the best experience, and so they want to, you know, obviously watch more videos, because that's what you want the viewers to do. And then with editing, just no dull moments, you know, have a good hook at the beginning. Some minor tips I could give is like, you know, if I do a video like Last Sleep Circle wins 10 grand, obviously people are going to watch to the end because they want to see who won the money. So you could apply that to your videos. If somehow you could have a payoff at the end, then more people are gonna watch to the end just to see what happened.
I just don't see why it won't work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so like what's interesting too is like before I even promoted it, we were doing pretty good sales because a lot of people, when they open up Uber Eats or Grubhub, they're like, oh, it's that guy from YouTube.
Yeah.
They try it out. So it's a lot of like sales from that where it's just basically like free promo. It's like having a virtual restaurant's like having a billboard in these delivery apps. And so my main channel is 60% American and like whatever, the UK is like 10, 15%. But on my Espanol channel, it's 1% American. It's literally a whole new audience.
No way.
Yeah, and so these are people, like, I'm literally #1 trending in Mexico with videos that I uploaded 2 years ago.
That's definitely changed over the years. I mean, I watch a ton of anime. I love anime. It's like, it's so creative and different, and I feel like that inspires me. So #1's anime, and then #2 is like, I just try to watch a bunch of different stuff, so I'm just always learning. It's, you never learn enough. And like, there could be just one simple thing you learn through watching like an educational video that just like changes how you think and like allows you to just make better decisions for the rest of your life.
Cut out all dull moments, try not to over-explain things. The camera just sits on me and I'm just talking for 20 seconds. It doesn't hold retention as well as, maybe me talking and other footage popping up. There's things like that if you just, there's literally in your analytics, and most of you probably know this, audience retention. You can see where people click off. Just literally go through your last 50 videos, write down where everyone clicked off, and then just don't do those things again.
I think YouTube's gonna grow even bigger. Like,
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at it, like 85% of the phones in the world run on Android, which has YouTube pre-installed, and Google obviously funnels people into YouTube. So I think in 10 years, YouTube's gonna be ginormous, and I just want to be the biggest YouTuber.
I think YouTube's gonna get bigger, bigger, and bigger. It comes installed on every Android device, which is like 85% of all operating systems, and 90% of searches in the West are on Google, which YouTube pops up on. I think, like I've told you guys multiple times, gaming viewership in the last 2 years has doubled. Like, you can throw up the tweet, the reports, like that's factual. In the last 2 years, and 2 years ago, gaming was freaking huge, and it's doubled. I think YouTube in 10 years is gonna be bigger than we all.
You're like, wait a second, 40 seconds has gone by. This many scene changes have happened.
How many was it? Like a dozen?
It was at over 12, yeah, it was over 12 scene changes. There was introduction of new information at each, maybe, 6 seconds. And you had added in a twist by 40 seconds where the telephone pole
and the
falls.
entire time there's tension of him chasing.
Yep, it's fine. I mean, like, some people do YouTube for fun. Some people do it just to pay off the mortgage and house. Like, everyone has different goals. But if you really want to be the best in the goddamn world, it's like Michael Jordan says, you're not trying to get 1% better, you're trying to get 1/10,000% better. And if you do that every day, like, it adds up. I like to end a series or a challenge on a high note. Like, you can just kind of tell when people are getting a little tired of it. Or, I just gave away $1 million, so I'll take hand off of it. So now if I do last Dude Blake wins 10 grand, this is not really the same effect. But I'm still gonna maybe occasionally do it. But it's just like, to keep things fresh, just, again, it's hard because so many of them are different. Like, if they're a Fortnite creator, I'm not trying to tell them to switch games every month, because then that might kill their career. But for me, I just like to, don't milk the series too hard. You know what I mean? Keep it fresh and always try to introduce things here and there. And then if it works well, take it and run with it for a little bit and introduce something else new.
That's the only question you should ask. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to, make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for. No one's known for no one's like the biggest YouTuber in the world because they have the best thumbnails, right? Mm-hmm. It's also because they have great, phenomenal content. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember. That's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views.
At the end of the day, like, the idea is a big part of the video, not even just from clicking it, but whether or not people watch it. If you're spending 24 hours in a corner, that's just not as entertaining as spending 24 hours in a jail cell. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, like, the only difference there is the idea. It's not the content. It's what you formulated beforehand. So yeah, like, I like to spend an hour a day. It's dwindled recently. We have a lot of ideas, but if you spend an hour a day thinking of ideas, it's pretty hard to not expect your channel to do better, unless you're just not executing them properly.
The only downside is a lot of people copy my every move. And like, I've spent 5 years building how we do everything. And like, I've spent tens of millions of dollars fucking up so I can learn from it, and like hiring and how we do things. Any YouTuber I ever collab with, they always leave and they're like, oh, everything makes a million times more sense now. Like, I know what I should do. Even at the end of the day, like, attention is so just powerful. You know what I mean? And like, in a way, obviously,
attention is powerful.
Exactly.
That's the thesis. 100%.
And so
100%.
if you can like really like, you know, just get big and just maintain it for a decade, like
I honestly just want to keep making better and better and better videos, and that doesn't always mean money, and that's something I'm coming to terms with, especially after doing $1 million giveaway. There are, you know, time, effort, creativity, there are other ways to make a better video. So I just want to keep making better videos, do yearly fundraiser things, and I love YouTube. I want to be doing this for the next 10 years. This is all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else in my life. I think it's like 90% of the searches in the West or whatever go through Google. Google obviously owns YouTube, so obviously a lot of that would go to YouTube. And so I think, you know, YouTube's only going to get bigger and bigger. It's a great place to be honest. I don't think there's that many more lucrative companies really out there than being a YouTuber, just to be frank.
Yeah. If you're a YouTuber, like actually like do a lot of high level things, just pay someone to follow you around for 2 weeks and study it. You know, after that they'll be pretty good at like doing stuff. Like you can, like every decision we make is like based on the thumbnail, and title, and content, and like even things like knowing into factor that like greater lighting at the beginning has higher retention. If a video's a little bit darker, it's lower, and like, you know, like re-engagements and stuff. Like there's like thousands of inputs, and like someone who you just train up isn't gonna get them all. But if someone follows you around, they like learn these 1,000 little things over the course of a year. So then like their like percentage of right decisions are so much more in line with yours, because they like, it's literally just like, it's not like I have to like motivate myself or it's like this. It's just what I do. I just wake up and it just consumes me, and I just can't stop. And I've never been able to stop, and if I stop, I get depressed. I've literally been hiring and building systems for like the last 4 to 5 years now to like perfect how to like make a viral video. Like we have it down to a science. Now I know what to do, and it's easy to replicate it. Like figuring it out took forever.